back here at Rams Stadium for the second half. Thank you for joining us here at Invictus Sports and WJAL. The ball just rolled off the tee. It blew off the tee probably because of the wind. So they're going to restart the play clock there. But a pretty good first half defensively as we'll go over some of these stats while we wait for the kickoff. Jeremy Musselman, 5 for 18 for 74 yards, not good at all. West Virginia Wesleyan has rushed the ball only 7 times today for 27 yards. You say they need to do more of that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, the more balance you can establish, and it doesn't have to be 50-50, but you have to put it together to where your running game becomes a threat. Now, you're averaging about 4.3 yards a carry, so it's not that you're not doing okay, and one of them was your quarterback who had 1 rush for 4 yards. So you've shown the ability to have a little bit of success doing it, so I'm just thinking you just have to do a little bit more of it to kind of, and that possibly can open up the passing lane right now because Shepard's defending that well.
Shepherd will be first on offense, and Alan Cross has been the star on the ground. 13 carries for 60 yards. He doesn't start the first half, so that's Mike Haynes, who rushed 10 times for 15 yards. Bobby Cooper, 8 for 14 for 93 yards in the first half. Cooper rolls out. He's chased by Vukala, not before he picks up about 8 yards on the play, and Vukala is a guy who had a good first half, a big first half. Also, 6 tackles, 1 for tackle for loss, and then the score, pick 6 that he had in the second quarter.
Well, I tell you what, one of the problems that I can see that Wesleyan has had all game long is really keeping contained when Cooper rolls out. And again, Cooper is able to pick up 6 yards on a carry by getting outside the pocket. So they definitely want to improve defensively on trying to shut that down, because if Cooper can go, if he's impeded going outside like that, he can throw a run.
The Bobcats on that play is a false start there. The Bobcats, they were ranked second in the country with 24 sacks. You talked about contain. Is that the contain? Are they losing it because they're trying to get to the quarterback and not really caring about the getting outside?
Well, on a defense, you have that built in where you typically have your defensive ends where they have to go, pursue from an outside-in approach, and their goal is to control the outside and contain the outside. So, every coach wants their defense to have some level of containment. The problem is, because if you do not contain, it leaves gaping space on the outside. So they have to establish that. And right now, it's either the line is blocking very well on the outside, or you have guys that are just rushing upfield on those defensive end or outside linebacker positions, and they're not focusing on contain like they should. And again, you don't want to leave that much field available for Cooper rolling out.
The line blocked very well on the play before that. Haynes gets a first down. Then the line again makes a pretty good job blocking there because it gains it 4 yards on that gain. So it's going to be 2nd down and 5, actually.
Right.
2nd and 5.
And one of the things that you do see is even though you have the 2 big horses up front on that defensive line, the overall defense is small. This is a small defense. They have 2 big defensive tackles, but everyone else is small. So, blocking for them one-on-one against this defense, it could be difficult.
Yeah, it's Cross. He's the future star. Cross with a big run. Another first down for the Rams.
And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the run get established right here, again, with that defensive front. So, Shepherd is come out. They're going to establish the run. And they grind some clock, establish the run, take control of the game. In my belief, if you establish the run, you take control of the line of scrimmage. You take control of the line of scrimmage, you take control of the timing of the game, and ultimately control of the game.
1st and 10 from the 28. Planned run this time by Cooper. He does not go down. Cooper makes a couple guys miss, makes something out of nothing. Won't be enough for a first down, but a really good run there by Bobby Cooper.
And you see his athleticism again, and we've talked about it. He's able to shake and move, and he's showing that strength. You can't bring Cooper down with the arm tackle. You got to come up, and you definitely can't just block or push like the defender, number 21, James Williamson did. You have to come up and wrap and get him to the ground. See if you can put some hats on him, more hats on him, and see if you can bruise him up a little bit. He's quarterback.
You got to get him down. 2nd down and 2. Cooper hands off to Cross. Cross again sidesteps one guy, gets enough for a 1st down. And the middle linebacker, in this case for the Bobcats, Jesse Robertson, who had a pretty good first half with 5 tackles, is now getting caught up in the mix a little bit and not getting to the running back.
Well, he has a couple problems. I mean, we talked about his speed and athleticism, and you have the defensive tackles are able to keep blockers off of him, but A, he's not tall. So you got a lot of stuff going on inside that he has to see, and he's not seeing it. And the second thing is he's not a big linebacker as far as girth and size. So, you know, you get those big horses on top of him, and I mean, he's not able to really do tons.
Cross again, cuts back, gets enough for a touchdown and delivers a blow as he goes in the end zone to Jermichael Kelly. Touchdown Rams.
And that was one of those drives that is this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the ball. We're going to ram it right down your throat. And if you can stop it, we'll see. And this is the adjustment I think that Coach Cater did. He said, look, we're coming out the second half and we're running the ball right at them. None of this, you know, you can see there wasn't tons of runs to the outside. It was right up the gut. Double team some guys, get those big linemen doing what they love to do, and get into those small linebackers and those smaller outside linebackers and DNs and just push the plow. And that's exactly what they did.
The extra point is missed. Missed extra point, but the Rams still lead 16-6.
Don't throw your money away. Come to Mayhew Chevrolet, Sunrise Summit in Romney, or on the web at mayhewcars.com.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Mayhew. At Mayhew Chevrolet, we are a family business where we remember you by your name and not a number. Come to Mayhew Chevrolet. We will take care of you.
In these days of identity theft and fraud, along with tougher enforcement of HIPAA and FACTA, it's more important than ever to protect your client's personal information. Outsourcing your document and media destruction allows your employees to be more productive in their core responsibilities, saving on labor and ensuring stricter compliance with privacy laws. RMS can handle all your shredding needs. RMS not only provides on-site document shredding, but can also handle the destruction of hard drives and other electronic media on-site with no chance of recovery of any data from those disks. In addition, 100% of shredding paper and electronics is recycled. Call us today. See what RMS can do for you.
Short.
All right. Back here at Rams Stadium, the extra point was missed, and it might be something with the kicking down at that end, because 2 extra points have been missed and a field goal already, and the kickoffs have really not been that great at all today. Down to the 1-yard line for the Bobcats. Good return all the way up to the 30, and before we come back with the Rams, let's talk a little bit about Robertson on that sequence there. Much like a small back gets lost behind his offensive lineman and then breaks out, it seemed to me that Robertson got lost behind his defensive lineman, but you say other.
Well, I think he gets lost behind, because the D-line is not necessarily big, but the big offensive lineman and all of you see a lot of stuff happening, and he's short. You know, so I think that point is correct. He's very short. So seeing over things, I mean, you can't necessarily see everything that's going on. But see, not every short linebacker struggles with that. There are some linebackers that we've seen throughout that have been able to play that and do well. So I think he is getting lost. And sometimes when you have guys that are that small, against the run that comes right at them, they defend that a little bit different, and they may not be able to handle it. He is, on the other hand, an extremely good sideline-to-sideline linebacker. But the last play, the touchdown play, he overran it. They cut right back against his bottom, and bam, they were in the end zone. And that's the middle linebacker. So sometimes, you know, you have to try to play stout and play off of that. But that is not always consistent with small linebackers. Some small linebackers play extremely well, and they play so much bigger because it's an instinct thing too.
Musselman hands off that time to York for a gain of 3 yards, and that's only the 8th rush of the game for the Bobcats. And again, they go right back to it, which is something you said at halftime, which they needed to do. Another gain of 3 there, but they really needed to pick it up and start running the ball a little bit.
Absolutely, and then here's another example. When you look at back to the linebacker situation, number 32, A.J. Parrish. He's only 5'10". He's a small linebacker too. you don't see him get lost a lot. And the one thing about him is he's stout. Parrish is stout. He's a little bit bigger. He's strong at the point of attack and has a nose for the ball. You just can't create linebackers. Linebackers, I mean, they have to be they're a special kind of dude. I mean, and they have to be able to sniff out the ball, know where they're going, watch a lot of film, know the tendencies, read the guard play, and come up and make plays.
3rd down and 3 is a big pitch and catch. Number 1, Lavon Hughes makes the catch. And that's enough for the 1st down for the Bobcats.
Good, I mean, definitely good play for Hughes to come up, and they needed that. They needed some type of big positive play to get this offense going.
And one of the reasons why they needed that is the reason is because of Boston went out with that injury at the end of the first half.
Yeah, Boston is shelled for the rest of the day, possibly pulled his shoulder out. You see him with some ice on the sideline, and I think he's done. So one of the weapons is not on the field.
Incomplete screen pass there, so it's going to be 2nd down and 10. And like you said, they're going to need Lavon there, Hughes, to step up, as Boston hurt his shoulder last play of the half. And he was the guy who they were going at a lot. And then now some of these other guys are going to have to pick it up a little bit.
Well, you see the Rams went back to that 4-man front again and went back to their typical 4-3 type look.
One safety back there, so it's a lot of man coverage, it looks like. 2nd down and 10 for the Rams. Blitz coming off the side. York does not get much at all. Big Mike Franklin at the bottom of that pile stops him for no gain. And 3rd and 10.
And you called that. You knew it was one safety back, which meant man-to-man and possibly bringing pressure. And in that sense, you saw Shephepherd run a blitz against the run, cover every gap. York didn't have anywhere to go. They shut the door down.
3rd down and 9 now for the Rams. 3rd down and 9, for the Bobcats. 3rd and 9 for the Bobcats. Swing pass out to York. York tries to make one guy miss. He doesn't. Guess who? Keon Robinson, who's having a great game, stops him for a gain of about 2 yards on that.
And you've seen Shephepherd jump to that 3-man front this time. Went to that 34 type look, and they had players all over the place. Pass is caught, but you come up and make the tackle, force a punt.
Punt now at the 49-yard line here, and we see our Boston on the sideline with ice all over his shoulder. Again, this is always exciting time here in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. The punt team and the special teams. Kick is up in the air. It takes a Shephepherd bounce, actually. And the linebacker we've been talking about, Robertson, comes up playing special teams and makes the stop at about the 16-yard line. So the Rams will start at their own 16. And if they score here, they can almost put this game away.
Yeah, and the reason why is because you haven't seen much productivity from the offensive side of the ball of the Bobcats. They haven't done much offensively, so this defense for Shephepherd has put them in a situation where the offense scores again. It's going to be really hard-pressed for this Bobcat team to get back into this game. And right now, they just offensively are stagnant.
Let's see which Shephepherd team you get. The running team, which is what you do get there, and they stop them right straight ahead. They gained no yards there.
And you saw Roberson played extremely well. He played the point of attack very well, came up and made the stick, shut the door down.
His defensive backfield made Jonas Sellian also up there to make the stop. No gain. 2nd down and 10. No gain for Haynes on that play.
Roberson needs those big defensive linemen up front to really occupy blocks. I mean, he needs them to do that.
Little read option right there for Cooper, who's really not known to run, but in the last couple weeks, he's really been getting up the field with his runs, and that right there was about 14 yards, enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He is showing an ability to run, and you're seeing the play calling by Ernie McCook to actually put him in call running plays, and he's turning them into 1st downs.
That play there, is that on the quarterback to determine whether to keep it or not?
Yeah, typically if it's a read option, he's probably reading the guard on that play or the defensive end. And if the defensive end crashes, he pulls it out and comes out. If the defensive end stays wide, he lets him have. He gives it to the back, and the back keeps going. So in that situation, it's an option play, and that's something that has to be practiced, has to be rehearsed because it's a timing play as well. And that, you know, many times with the option offenses of old, there were a lot of turnovers that could be possible if the timing wasn't down.
Dan Yoda Valley makes Cooper throw that ball away there, but now we're looking at 2nd down and 10. Good up the middle pressure by Yoda Valley. 2nd down and 10 for the Rams. Cooper this time under center. And there's a fake. Cooper rolls out. Again, the Bobcats lose contain. Cooper throws it up. Beautiful pitch and catch to Robert Byrd. Cooper to Byrd, and I think that was more of an underplay by number 7, Kenny Spain, as he had good coverage, just couldn't locate the ball.
And that's what happened when the contain is broke on the outside. Vukola, he was the contained person on that backside, got caught up inside by the play action and allows Cooper to roll out. He has all kinds of time, able to stop and then deliver the ball downfield with no pressure around him. He escapes all the ruckus of the middle of the field to throw a ball like that, and that's what happens when you break contain.
Cross, outside, cross, all the way to the touchdown. 25-yard run, the 3rd touchdown of the day for the freshman, Alan Cross. The Rams lead 22-6.
And I'll tell you what, that offensive line is doing superb. Oh, my goodness. You see the holes that are coming up there. Superb blocking by that offensive line.
Shepherd fans, you are looking at a coming out party for Alan Cross. His offensive line, like you said, Jerome, is playing very, very well. But when he gets to the outside, he has the moves to make people miss. And this time, speaking of not missing, Earls goes up and good, gives the Rams a 23-6 lead. We'll be right back.
So you're looking to buy a new car, and you start to ask yourself the important questions. Who, what, where, why? You might be thinking, aren't all dealers the same? And that's where you'd be interested in knowing that Apple Valley Chevy Toyota has been your reputable hometown dealer for over 50 years. With great service, great selection, and great value, giving you the best car buying experience has always been our commitment to you. Plus, our certified automotive technicians get your vehicle serviced right the first time, every time. For all those reasons and more, see why Apple Valley Chevy Toyota is different from the rest.
Back at Rams Stadium, where the Shepherd Rams have opened up a 23-6 lead on the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats here. And let's talk a little bit about the Rams offensive line that you highlighted right before we went to break. That offensive line has been opening holes up all day, actually all second half. And they're doing a really good job of getting the backs in space, and then Cross is making people miss and going to the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, Cross is really, like you said, a coming-out party for sure, and just having an excellent, excellent game today. And just showing, again, that depth at running back.
Stoppage of play. On a stoppage of play right now as the Bobcats start up their drive. And just no foul there. And we talk about the Rams so far this year. They have given up 38 in that first game to Shippensburg, who at the time I think was really underrated, but now they are rated. Actually, they are rated now in the top 25. But after that, 7, 6, 10, 6. this defense is playing really well.
Oh, absolutely. And again, you got to give a shout out to this coaching staff. Let's break down Coach Cater's career. I mean, you're talking about an overall conference championship record, and I'm talking about from the WVIAC as well as the Illinois Badgers conference championships that he's won, 15 total. He has 12 WVIAC championships. He's been the VIAC Coach of the Year 9 different times. So you're talking about a coach that has shown his ability to just really produce year after year after year. I mean, you're coming off 2011, 2010 seasons where they've only lost 2 games, both, and just a stellar campaign for this coach.
Well, right there, a lot of action there happened as the Bobcats tried to run a screen. The screen hit one of the offensive linemen in the back, and Robert Hayes, you just saw him there. He just tried to run that back for a touchdown, but it was an incomplete pass. And you're looking at 3rd down and 11. And
I'll tell you, Hayes and Franklin are having a ball up top. I mean, those two are just playing unblockable football, physical football from the Shephepherd defense. They are playing physical, and they're dictating the whole game right now.
Shephepherd comes right up the middle. Not enough. DeAndre Johnson on the stop. It's going to be 4th down, and what I saw there was maybe a little bit of a zone blitz because Jones was back also.
Oh, what they did was they came in the A-gaps, which is they blitzed the A-gaps, was right on both sides of the center, came right at the A-gaps, and that's hard because one of the things about that is it puts immediate pressure in the quarterback's face. And again, you have those athletes coming like that, force the quarterback to the outside where the defense is able to make a play.
On that play, there was a personal foul penalty, which you didn't see on the replay there, but back towards where the quarterback was, it was a personal foul on Dominic Dixon, which gave the Bobcats new life. Now 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Musselman in shotgun formation. No blitz this time, just a 4-man rush. And number 90 gets right up there. Chenille Jenkins comes up, sacks Musselman for a loss of 4.
Yeah, now that defensive front, they are having a very good time up front. I mean, they really are. I mean, you're seeing them come, and now when you get a defensive line that begins to build that swagger of being unblockable, you got Xavier Tyler is coming in the game as well, and he's adding to it to go along with Haynes and Howard Jones and Jenkins, and they're all just playing just they went to another level.
2nd and 15. Overshoots his wide receiver there. Musselman does overshoot Jesse Heinauer there. Incomplete pass, 3rd down and long for the Bobcats.
Yeah, again, the physicality situation, Shephepherd is now dictating that. They're hitting hard. They're coming off the ball extremely hard, and they're just playing football. They're not thinking at all. They're playing football. You don't have to, you don't have to worry about trickery or anything. You're just playing football and allowing your instincts to take over. And once that happens, you see just a lightning defense playing ball right now.
3-man front this time. Over the middle, incomplete pass, but right in and out of the hands, though, of Heinauer. And if you don't make those, you got to make those catches to make a comeback.
Yeah, you have to make those plays. I mean, and again, you got to make those plays in traffic. You're going to get hit. Shephepherd is hitting, and you got to play the game, and you got to play hard, and you're going to get hit. But we've seen too many missed opportunities for the Bobcats.
DJ Scott back at his 29-yard line, looking to return this kick, and his face is right in that sun, and it's not a high kick, so he got lucky there. Takes a Bobcat bounce. Bobcats will pick it up, and the Rams will start at their 17-yard line. And you got to expect the Rams to come out and just gash them again with the run. They're going to try to run some more.
Yeah, why not? I mean, right now the running game has been so effective. You've already begun the process of wearing down the Bobcat defense, which is the smallest defense. We've talked about that. They have the 2 defensive tackles that are in the game, and other than that, this is an undersized group. So you can line up double tight or single tight and just run right at this front, and you're seeing this offensive line do what they love to do.
There's the run on 1st down, up the middle where they gain maybe a yard, if anything. That's one thing I haven't seen, though. I haven't seen them try to run the ball, but they haven't been successful that I've seen today of running the ball right at those big 2 defensive tackles.
Yeah, they haven't been until lately. I mean, it seemed like they're starting to do whatever they want, but I think that what you have to do to complement those defensive tackles up front is you have to maybe start doing some run blitzing to cover up a lot of those gaps. And right now, that may be the only way you can slow this running game down is by getting that gap control there.
2nd down and 10. Again, all day they've been doing this, rolling out Cooper to that one side, the right side. He completes the pass to Frick there. It's still going to be 3rd down and long, but still, again, they've been doing it all day.
Well, this is definitely a much better defensive series for the Bobcats since the half began. I mean, they seem to be more into it. But, again, this half has gone by really fast. I mean, we're already at the 3:42-41 mark, and it's been all dominated by Shephepherd. They took control of the game.
3rd down and 7. Quick out pattern to Lowe. Spain has to hold on to him. But that should be enough for a 1st down or very close to it. And they're going to call. He's not going to get enough for the 1st down. He's going to be short. 4th down for the Rams, and they look to be punting here.
Yeah, I wouldn't take a shot. You don't want to give the Bobcats any life here. Just punt it away. Again, your defense has played some stellar ball to this point. Now, the key is going to be, again, you want that kick coverage. You don't want Hughes to break anything. He's capable, fast, shifty return man. You don't want him to break anything on this play, so you want to get that kick coverage down there and cover very well.
Back there to the return. The punt is Lavon Hughes. Kick is up, and Hughes is going to fair catch it all the way back to his 28-yard line. And the Bobcats have not been very good on the road. Under Jonas Jackson, the team is 4-4 on the road, and they're close to being 4-5. And here's the big stat. Each of the 4 games the Bobcats have surrendered 200-plus rushing yards on the road, and they're well on their way to actually giving up that much today also.
Yeah, you definitely are starting to see that run be established by Shephepherd, and when you can't stop the run, it allows an offensive team to pretty much do what they want to do. And you know, once you establish the running game, you're able to do so many things off of that, and then you get the play-action game involved, and I think that's what you're seeing. You're seeing Shephepherd run a lot of play-action, a lot of rollouts from play-action, and it's working.
Musselman, balls up in the air. Usually the Rams come out with that. They don't this time. Incomplete pass. Good coverage by DJ Scott. 2nd down and 10 for the Rams. Also, David Carter was right there on that play. And David Carter, let's talk about him a little bit. He's taking over for Corey Washington, a guy who we nicknamed the Torpedo here on the broadcast. He is a very good safety also.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Corey Washington has been great, and they haven't lost much in that secondary right now because Carter has played so well back there. So, again, you're seeing that depth from Shephepherd show its teeth again.
Quick out pattern, and again, Shephepherd comes up, and they are wrapping up and playing good defense. Naimi Maines on the catch from Musselman, but it's going to be 3rd down and long for the Bobcats.
And you're in too many 3rd and long situations, and when you don't run the ball and you get incomplete passes, that's exactly what happens. It puts you in 3rd and long a lot, and that's what you're seeing from the Bobcats. They're in 3rd and long, and once you're in 3rd and long, Shephepherd gets to dictate what they want to do defensively, and you can see they're going to a 4-man front, and these 4 have gotten there. So, you know, you're getting 4-man pressure with those defensive tackles collapsing the pocket, and the outside defenders doing well at the defensive end position.
They collapse the pocket again. There is a flag on the play. Taken down that time, Musselman by Demetrius Dixon, coming up from a defensive end spot to make that sack. And you're probably looking at holding on the offensive line, and probably holding because they're tired. I mean, Shephepherd's coming in and out with different guys, and let's see what our referee gives us on this one. Actually, a face mask penalty, which I didn't see at all. I saw a lot of holding. I didn't see face mask there at all, but very good call by, actually very big call, excuse me.
Yeah, that's big.
For the Bobcats is Tim Durant is the culprit on the face mask. Let's see if we see the face mask on this replay as you see Durant coming up from his defensive end spot.
Yeah, I think I can see it. You actually saw the defensive player go straight down. I believe it may have been on number 60, Andrew Spate, the left guard on the play.
Good run there for about 3 yards. 3-yard run there for the Bobcats. So you're going to be looking at 2nd down and 7. There you see some of the secondary for the Rams. Keon Robinson's having a great game today. Dixon, Dominic Dixon, we haven't called his name much, but he's out there. And there you see Robinson, who's kind of been left out on the island a few times today.
Yeah, and he's done well. He's shown up, and you haven't seen the Bobcats attack him much this quarter. You saw the one swing pass, but you haven't seen him attack him a lot this quarter because he showed up in the first quarter.
I think
first half.
I think they learned their lesson after that interception in the last play of the first half. A gain of 1 for York there. That's going to put them at 3rd down and 5, which is on or around what they have been getting this whole second half. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. We're coming up on the end of the 3rd quarter, but they will have to run a play before the 3rd quarter ends. So the Bobcats, this will be the last play of the 3rd quarter right here. Musselman in shotgun formation. Drops back to pass. 3rd down. He goes wide open to Hughes. Hughes gets enough for the 1st down. And again, he gets out of bounds, so we will have one more play before the quarter ends. 7 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
Well, now you're starting to see Musselman is hitting the ground after every pass play. I mean, the pressure is getting right in his face, and he doesn't have a lot of time to deliver it. And those hits begin to wear on you a little bit when you're hitting the ground. You got Big Haynes and Franklin and Howard, along with Jenkins. They keep teeing off on you, long enough that those hits are going to hurt. It's not so much the hit from the defender to the quarterback, but it's the quarterback to the ground. And you're starting to see, a lot of hits from Musselman, and he's hitting the turf more and more often.
There's a discussion there that you see. The discussion is about the end of the quarter, as the clock did run, the 7 seconds ran off the clock, and I think the ref is discussing that with Coach Jonas Jackson of the Bobcats. So it looks like that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. Shephepherd is up 23-6. We'll be right back.
Dealerships that lead the market bring their new car trades to Mason-Dixon Auto Auction in Greencastle, Pennsylvania. When these top dealers are overstocked with new car trades, they sacrifice them at Mason-Dixon Public Auto Auction, where you can come, bid, and buy at tremendous savings every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. The 2006 Hummer, selling for over $6,300 below book value, or the sleek 2005 Pontiac Sunfire, sold at a savings of $4,380. Mason-Dixon Auto Auction, exit 3 off I-81 in Greencastle, Pennsylvania.
When you're thinking about buying a diamond, how do you know whether or not you're getting the best, most beautiful diamond for your money? Bechtel Jewelers travels overseas to the world's diamond cutting center in Antwerp, Belgium.
Hi, I'm Dave from Bechtel Jewelers.
Back to Ram Stadium, right up the middle. Big Robert Hayes. BJ Raji dance again. He's been all over the place, and I must toot our horn a little bit. We did key him.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I think for our keys for Shephepherd, we never go wrong. I mean, you have so many players, and this is a shout out to all of them. You can't, every week, each and every week, we come out with keys or players to watch, and those players show up. I mean, and that's what this team is all about.
4-yard loss on that play. 2nd down and 14. Back to pass is Musselman, and he throws it right in the hands of Dominic Tolson. Tolson has a Blaine. Musselman makes the play and trips him up and saves a touchdown. Dominic Tolson with the interception, turnover, Rams ball.
I tell you what, this Ram defense is having fun. they're enjoying this game, man. I mean, they are having fun, and that is a dangerous, dangerous proposition when you have this Rams team flying around having fun like this. They're a hard defense to break, and you're seeing this right now. They're having fun after the interception. You have guys downfield that are blocking and just lambasting guys to see if they can get Dixon or the linebacker into the end zone. So they're having fun.
First down and 10 for the Rams. Good field position on the 38. There's Cross. Cross goes up the left side, makes a couple guys miss, and he's taken down by Robertson there, who stops him at the 30-yard line. Late flag on the play. Late flag, so we'll see what that is about.
And I think this could be unnecessary roughness on the Bobcats.
We'll see the call. Here's the referee is getting ready. And that's Brian Vukala, who is edging the crowd on to give him a little bit more as he's upset. As he's just, I think he might be a little bit frustrated. Honestly.
Yeah.
You go through that and you look like he's just enjoying it, but that might be frustration from the foul, and then also getting the crowd into the crowd's now in his head.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to get the crowd into it, and you just move the ball into the red zone as a result of the penalty. So, it's difficult. You're playing against a very tough team. You're showing that you're beginning to be overmatched, and I think that's the problem.
Again,
look at all that space.
Vukala's side, Cooper he goes right into Spain, but not after he gets all the way down to the 3-yard line. And again, what they're doing is they're specifically targeting Vukala because they go to his side again. And he
play action does that. When you have a running game that you get that running game going to the outside like that, and then you're able to do play action on a naked boot. And basically what that is you're coming out without a blocker. You don't even need to bring another blocker with you to help you. So it's a naked boot. So it's just you out there. And how much space does Cooper have out there? I mean, he's able to run past. He was already 10 yards into the defense before any of the defensive backs turned around to see him. So, I mean, right now, just good play call.
And that's big Charles Tillman, 6'2", 330 from D.C., Washington, D.C., who is called for the face mask. And when you get penalties like this has to be just frustration, starting to show. And the timeout by Wesleyan. And I think the coach wants to settle these guys down a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely do. I mean, I think right now they're, like you said, they're frustrated. They're getting physically beat right now. The scoreboard has changed where at one time it was 10-6 and you were in the game and it's ballooned to 23-6 and you're already into the fourth quarter. And you have to be able to settle your team down because this game is slowly getting, well, not slowly, but it's getting away from them now. And you have to try to reel them in because if they can't get a stop here, Shepherd's not going to give up tons of points in one quarter, and it may seal your fate for this game.
Yeah, 3 timeouts for Shepherd, 2 left for West Virginia Wesley. And as we discussed, this is homecoming weekend at Rams Stadium, and one of your keys, if we can have time to go over your keys to the game, one of them was put on a show for the homecoming crowd, and they are doing that.
Especially the defense, man. I mean, the defense has been just playing lights out football. I think offensively they've been efficient, but defensively they're dictating the tempo of this game, and they're just playing so physical right now. This defense is physical. They're flying around. They're having fun, and they're really taking over and taking control of the game.
We're looking at first and goal from the 2-yard line, and there's Cross, who already has 3 touchdowns today. Looking for another one. He's bottled up there, and no gain on that play. But you can see they're trying to get Cross another one.
Yeah, Cross is having an excellent game today. I mean, and We didn't talk much about him in the earlier games that we've covered, but again, that's what you see from this Shephepherd team. They're pumping out backs, and I would imagine you would get probably similar productivity from every back on the roster, regardless what year, because of the talent that they have. So every one of them plays extremely well.
Cross is in the end zone, and I gave him a touchdown before, actually. That's his third touchdown of the day, and then we have another flag that went up from the back from the referee after the touchdown was called.
Look at that offensive line. I mean, they're just moving the pile. Even the big defensive tackles for the Bobcats are starting to wear down, and that's the one problem with guys that size. They begin to wear down too, and they're not as stout at the point of attack. In the beginning of the game, they definitely were more stout.
There was a flag on the play, and you see the referee talking to the Rams, so let's see what the flag is going to be. This time, Jake Lenitsky is the one who gets called for the personal foul. And this is spiraling out of control for the Bobcats right now.
It definitely is. I mean, you know, they're getting beat at every phase of the game now, and now you're starting to see mental breakdowns of frustration that are happening. The game is getting out of hand now. They're down 30-6 in a game that was originally close.
30-6, Rams lead. We'll be right back.
Mother Nature can be a tad unpredictable. That kind of disposition doesn't sit well with a train. Its forecast is as rock solid as solid rock. Nothing but perfect temps house-wide.
McCray Heating and Air Conditioning has been serving your community for 75 years, and we're celebrating with amazing rebates and a 10-year parts and labor warranty free. Now that's peace of mind. These deals are available for a limited time only, so call today. Comfort you can believe in, no matter the season. That's the McCray way.
It's hard to stop a train.
Everyone needs a little me time. The professional staff at Personal Reflection Day Spa uses state-of-the-art equipment and advanced techniques designed to restore, rejuvenate, relax, and soothe the mind, body, and spirit. A 1-hour massage helps relieve stress, increase blood circulation, and promotes a balance of energy and vitality. In dermology, the LPG technique for cellulite smoothing and reduction creates a visible improvement in those hard-to-treat dimpled areas. Take your me time today. Personal Reflection Day Spa and Advanced Cellulite Center, where beauty starts from within. Join our Facebook page to receive daily specials.
At Rams Stadium, where the score is 30-6. I'm Isaac Dyer. I'm here with Jerome Presley and Vicar Sports, and WJAL brings you homecoming from Shepherd University. You'll see the Rams are set up now to kick from the 50-yard line. That was because of a personal foul penalty on number 42, Jake Lenitsky, on the Bobcats. And during the break, we were talking about, yes, the game is out of hand on the scoreboard. That's one thing. But to get out of hand and get called for personal foul penalties and things like that, that gets it out of hand on another level.
Yeah, it definitely does, and you know, it puts you in a situation where you don't want to be in, and you know, you have to reel in, and you have to play discipline regardless. And if you're not playing discipline, it can get even further out of hand, because you helped Shepherd on that drive with the penalties. And you had, I mean, it seemed like almost consecutive big penalties, 2 personal foul, 15-yard penalties, where, you know, you're starting to see the Bobcats kind of unravel a little bit. You can't allow that to happen. This coaching staff is, you know, up to this point, I mean, the first half they played a brilliant game. You know, now things are just seeming to fall apart, and they're starting to wear down.
And what we have here is the kick actually went out of bounds. So the kick actually was kicked, and it a little bit of a backspin was put on the ball. The ball went out of bounds at the 3-yard line, which causes a penalty. And what we're seeing is a discussion to see how the Bobcats want to go with this. Do they want them to re-kick, or would they like to take the penalty? And they're going to have them re-kick, which I think is a smart move. I think anytime you have a team re-kick, it's a smart move.
Oh, absolutely, because what it does is it forces the kicking team to once again run down the field after they just ran down the field again. So they're a little bit more tired. So you may have an opportunity to get a good return.
Now let's talk a little bit. You played Division II football. Were you ever on a team that lost their head when they're getting beat this way?
No, I mean, I think, you know, the coaching staff seemed to have a good lid on what we did there. And I was coached by our coach, Rocky Reese, who was a disciplinarian. I mean, you know, he didn't tolerate that, and he set that tone in practice and in camp. And you have to set that tone there. And I'm not saying that the coaching staff for the Bobcats haven't done that, because probably up to this point, maybe they haven't had this problem. But throughout the course of the game, you have moments and opportunities where the coach has to reel guys in during the game, and that's in the game coaching. And I think that's where, you know, Coach Rocky Reese would get in the game, and the other coaches, it filtered down into the assistant coaches, into the position coaches. So you have, and I think Coach Cater, we've seen Shepherd lose games before. We've seen Shepherd lose games big, but Shepherd rarely unravels. And that's not to say that they don't have penalties from time to time. Every team does. But that's the coaching staff. And when you have a young coaching staff, sometimes they have to develop that situation with their team, and it takes time.
Well, let's talk about that coaching staff. Coach Jonas Jackson right now is talking to his returner. He did not want him to return that ball, and the returner did, probably looking for a big play,
right.
And did not give the Bobcats good field position. Musselman drops back, and Musselman's been throwing it into coverage all game long. That one's complete to Hughes, and that's enough for a first down, but that was in traffic.
Yeah, that was in traffic, but he completed it. And I mean, my thinking is, if it's a completed pass in traffic, that means it was a good pass, and it warranted them a first down. But again, that's pretty much what you're getting. You're not seeing big plays from this Bobcat team. You're seeing that in the middle, 10-yard is the most successful pass play that they are getting. Other than that, they haven't been really able to do any big plays.
Second down, almost fumbled there by number 83, Naimi Mans. He does gain about 8 yards on that play, and we can say it over and over, but they are missing one of their playmakers, actually two playmakers if you count Nate Montana, who's out, and then you lost Boston today, Dante Boston, who was your leading receiver. You lost him at the end of the first half, so not many playmakers out there for the Bobcats. Musselman drops back. Hughes again in the middle of the field, and he gets stood up there by number 1 Dominic Tolson. Not before he gets the first down, though. So 1st and 10 for the Bobcats.
Well, one of the things you've seen, too, is Shepherd took their entire starting defensive front. All 4 of those guys are getting a rest, and you're seeing the backups in. Tim Durant, Demetrius Dixon, Xavier Tyler, and Daniel Yarborough are now in the game at that defensive line. And now you get some of the starters filtering in, but you're seeing that exchange where you're seeing the backups getting in, and they're getting some significant minutes and getting some rest for those big guys up front.
York on the run. He gets 8 yards there, and as you were reading those names off, I'm starting to think, well, those guys really, they play a lot. Yeah, they're not really backups. Xavier Tyler is a guy who we could highlight every week. He is really in there, and he plays backing up Franklin and Hayes, but Xavier Tyler is a good player.
And that's when you're able to rotate 8 guys on that front 4 and have players come in and still give you productivity that will be similar to your starters. That's just a great situation to have as a defense and as a coaching staff. And you coach guys up to prepare them for that. These are young guys coming in. I mean, some of these, you're talking about redshirt freshmen and sophomores coming in and playing significant minutes.
First down, a 2-yard gain there from Musselman to Mans, who now is the major target for Musselman right now. 1st and 10 from the, looks like the 46-yard line of Shepherd. There's Musselman, who's been hammered all day long, had a tough day. Drops back to pass again. Short, quick passes. This time to 13, Chase Blackwell. Chase Blackwell, 5'10", 165 from Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, and that shows you, again, another school. We talked about the Division II schools, the WVIAC schools, and they're getting players from everywhere.
2nd down and 2 for the Bobcats. This time he overthrows Mans. Looking for Mans, so it's going to be 3rd down and 2.
You see Howard Jones, man, just giving a lot of ear candy on that offensive line. I mean, he's banging into like 3 different guys on the way back to the defense, and they're jawing and having a good time. Number 7 is all over the field down there.
3rd and 2 now for the Bobcats. And again, Musselman, he's just rolling the neck around a little bit. I think he's getting stung a lot.
Oh, this is going to hurt when he wakes up. You know, he tries to go to bed tonight, man. He's a little sore.
Back to pass. Quick pass again, and there's that out pattern. Incomplete. Incomplete pass. So you're looking at 4th down and 2.
And he's very fortunate that that wasn't on the money, because if it was, Keon Robinson could have took that to the house. It was good that it was a low and it was away, because if that was an on-the-money throw as far as accuracy, Robinson broke on that like he knew it was coming.
4th down and 2 for the Bobcats. They try to get some points on the board. And again, Musselman back, and there's a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage right now for the Rams. One-on-one coverage all over everywhere else, though.
Absolutely. There's no safety help. None.
Musselman knew it. And that was more, I believe, a fact that they were coming right up the middle and forces a 4 and out. And now the Rams offense takes over.
That was an all-out blitz look. 0 blitz. They had no help in the secondary at all. It was man-to-man across the board, and there were a lot of defenders in the box. 0 blitz. And again, a young quarterback sees that. You're seeing all these guys coming, and they're huffing and ready to roll. And the speed and athleticism that this Shephepherd defense brings, that's enough to shake up most quarterbacks in the nation.
1st and 10 now for the Rams from the 44, and we can't talk enough about this Rams defense. Again, I'll go through the points given up. And as soon as we talk about the defense, Vukala comes in and makes a big-time play, loss of big-time yardage there for the Rams.
Yeah, I like the fire of Vukala. I mean, I definitely do. He's a senior this year, and you know, it's been a tough game for him. For Vukala, who's out of Bethel Park, PA. So they were able to reach into Pennsylvania to pick him up. 6'2", 225 pounds, wears that number 44. You know, he's pleased. This has been a rough day for him. He makes another tackle there.
Vukala comes up, makes the tackle, not after a gain of 3 yards. So you're looking at 3rd down and 12 for the Rams. And one thing about the Rams defense I started on, again, 38 points in that first game, but they settled down 7-6, 10-6. And right now, they're holding the Bobcats to 6.
And we know what happens when they keep opponents low on the scoreboard. They typically win games.
Blitz coming. This time Cooper can't get away, and Vukala with a great series there as he makes 2. He almost gets the sack there, does cause the sack. But he really had 3 really good plays there.
Yeah, he definitely had a good series there for him. A good highlighted series for him as after coming back from that penalty on the last series, comes back and has a really good series here.
And I think that benefits the Bobcats. Maybe not in this game per se, but it benefits them that they are really the defense can come back and play hard as they did on that play. Hughes this time waves everybody away, takes a little bit of a bounce. The Bobcats will start at their own 40-yard line. Bobcats again, well, they'll start at their 39.5, 40-yard line.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Again, homecoming weekend here. As you can see there, you see the injured Nate Montana there on the field trying to help his team out. And it's really been all Shephepherd here in the second half.
Right.
The score was 10-6 at the half, and Shephepherd runs off 20 straight points to go up 30-6. So it's really been it's actually 23 straight before the half. Ryan Earls hit a field goal. So finally going deep, and right there is Carter. Carter makes the play. He's playing center field, gets the play, an interception. Rams will come right back out on the field, their offense.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, you try to take your shot and go a little deep on the play, and you saw the center field play in the secondary by Carter, just plays it well, goes up and gets the ball at its highest point, turnover, ball back to the offense.
And he was just sitting back there waiting for that.
Just sitting back and waiting. He played his key, didn't get fooled by anything, just stayed back, kept his depth, and comes up and makes the play. That's what a free safety needs to do. They patrol that back line and keep plays like that from happening.
And there's Cooper again, who threw that one interception today, but other than that, he's been fantastic. Run to Hayes. He gains about a yard, if that. So you're now looking at 2nd down and 9. Robertson on the tackle, 2nd and 9. Hayes goes out. They bring in Cross. They just keep going back and forth, and Monty Cater's in his ear asking him, what did you see there?
Yeah, and everything's a learning opportunity, a teaching opportunity. So, you know, 1 yard, okay, well, what did you see that stopped that from going for bigger than that?
Quick out pattern to Lowe, who gets hit in the back by Spain there because of the high pass. Lowe is holding his back, and that was that was almost a setup to get him hit in the back there.
Yeah, that's when you go back to your quarterback and say, dude, come on. You can't do that to me, man, because you put it that way. You're exposed, completely exposed. There is no ability for you to brace yourself. You are exposed with your hands in the air and a defender bearing down on you. So, you know, one of the few errant passes by the quarterback. But if you're low, you're like, come on, help me out here.
3rd down, blitz coming. Cooper looks right at it and hits Bird, and Bird gets enough, falls forward for a 1st down, about 12 yards on that pass play. And that should be enough for a 1st down.
It's a penalty on the play, too.
And we'll see what the flag is going to be. It's back in the backfield where the ball was snapped. And it looks like it's probably going to be on the Bobcats. They're walking forward, so on the Bobcats.
So we have another series, and now we're starting to see those penalties again, which, you know, to me seems like frustration penalties. But this is a big one.
Yeah, Jonas Sellian was the guy who was on that face mask, or actually personal foul, excuse me, on that play. And Sellian's a guy who probably, again, another guy who might be a little bit frustrated because he's been having a pretty good year. And in this game, he's been kind of quiet. 1st and 10 from the 38 for the Rams.
Yeah, big penalty.
Rams up 30-6 on homecoming weekend. A nice windy, blustery fall day, but it's not cold. It's just a beautiful fall day. There it is, play action. This time, though, they don't bite. 14, Jeff Parrish was right in the face of Bobby Cooper.
And that was the difference from what you've seen up to this point on those rollout boot plays. I mean, and you saw that played very, very well. You saw a blitz coming in, you know, that was able to break that up by Jeff Parrish, number 14.
Number 59, Dan Yodavalli, was hurt on the play. He seems to be okay. Shaken up, but he's coming off the field, and he's been playing pretty well today, and we said his name a few times today on that defensive line. The Rams are going right to he's not even at the numbers yet. They're right on the line. So the Rams, they want to get started.
We want to get this rolling, man. We want to put it in again, and if they do, I mean, the game is pretty much sealed up, and I think it's very unlikely that the Rams will give up many points that'll make this more than what it is. But
blitz coming. It was one-on-one coverage. Bird makes the catch, and Cooper is seeing the blitz. I mean, he's really looking at seeing it, and it's one-on-one coverage. He's going right out to Bird. That's a 1st down. So another 1st down.
He always stands well in the pocket. He looks the blitz. He doesn't flinch. He knows where his playmakers are, and he puts the ball out there, and that's what you have to do. You, as a quarterback, there are times when you're going to get hit. You know it, and you have to brace for it. You know you're going to get hit, but you know you still have to deliver a good ball. You still have to keep the offense and the integrity of the offense intact, and sometimes it may mean you standing in and taking a shot but delivering a good ball.
2nd down again. This time over the middle, wide open, touchdown for the Rams again. That's going to put the score up to 30-6. And that touchdown is for number 88, His name is Anthony Weissenmiller, and they call him Wheezy. I remember that from the first game. Wheezy is just wide open right in the middle of the field.
Yeah, right in the middle. He wasn't accounted for. You get him streaking right down the middle, not a defender in sight. Wheezy pulls it in. Touchdown, game, lock, and key.
Earl's back to add the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good. The Rams take the lead, 37-6. We'll be right back.
Nestled in the beautiful hills of Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, Berkeley Springs Rehabilitation and Nursing and Automakers Personal Care Center provide rehabilitation, respite, long-term care, and Alzheimer's dementia care. The professionally trained staff and nurses focus on the individual needs of each resident, allowing their stay as home-like as possible. Our activity calendar is packed with group and individualized festivities throughout the day. You can rest assured knowing your loved one's care will meet your highest expectation in both of these licensed facilities. Call or visit us online today.
Is your favorite way to spend your free time on a golf course? Then treat yourself to West Virginia's friendliest course, Alpine Lake Resort Golf Course. Alpine Lake is a beautiful 18-hole course bordered by a 150-acre mountain lake. Our weekday greens fees are $40 with cart, and our weekend green fees are just $49. Enjoy our cool mountain air and take pleasure in our stay and play golf packages, starting at just $100. Meet friends at the resort, on the deck overlooking one of West Virginia's most beautiful vistas.
Back here at Ram Stadium, Isaac Dyer here with Jerome Presley. Jerome, at one point this game, it was 6-7 at 8:06 in the second quarter. Since then, the Rams have run up 30 straight points, and they've looked. The defense has looked unbelievable by doing it.
Yeah, I mean, they did it in a couple ways. Defense was one. They really wanted to, I think Cater wanted to establish the running game in the second half, and they did. I mean, they really came out in the second half and just pounded the ball. And you saw the wearing down of the smallish defense of the Bobcats. And then once that happened, everything else just opened up, and there you go.
At 6:22 here left in the fourth quarter. Let's go over your keys of the game and see how it worked out for you.
Well, I think for West Virginia, West Lane, the keys were, number one, offensive line play. They really needed their offensive line to play well, not just in the pass game and protection, but also in the run game. And you saw Shephepherd pretty much dominated the line of scrimmage, so that key was not accomplished. They also wanted to turn this game into a shootout, and well, they only have 6 points, so it hasn't been that. I mean, I think Shephepherd did more of the shooting out than the Bobcats did, so that key was not fulfilled either. For Shephepherd, the revenge game from last year, that was putting up 37 points, holding them to 6, accomplished. And then put on a show for the homecoming crowd, and we talked about fun, having fun on the field, offense, defense. They've had a ball today. They've enjoyed it. The pageantry of homecoming, the fans enjoyed it. You're seeing the fans they're tailgating, they're having a good time, and they're watching their Shephepherd team put on a show. And I think they accomplished that too.
And the fans actually got into the show a little bit by getting into some of the heads of the players in the Bobcats. Vukala, one of them, one of the guys who actually, after he was called for a penalty, edged on the fans a little bit. I'm not sure if that was such a smart move, but that's what happened today. 37-6, 5:30 left in the game. Musselman's had a tough time today. The defensive line is coming at him all day long. Quick pass, Maines with the catch, makes one guy miss, then gets bumped out of bounds by a guy who's having a terrific game also.
He has had
Keon Robinson, who has done everything. He's blocked, he's almost blocked kicks, first down there, but he's done just about everything.
Yeah, and again, his physical play is even better. I mean, when you have a corner that can be physical, that's even better. He's a big corner as well. So again, he just went along with the rest of the defense, having fun, and just letting people know out there that, look, he needs to be accounted for each and every game.
Here comes the blitz. They do get the Musselman. The ball's up in the air and right through the hands of Philip Roden, and he's going to kick himself for that tonight.
And when your offensive linemen are pulling you off the carpet, you know you're getting it pretty good back there. And Musselman takes a shot in the backfield again from that Shephepherd team, and they're teeing off now and blitzing a little bit. Their front four is getting pressure, but they're coming with pressure.
And that's number 56, Xavier Tyler, coming in to make that hit. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 now for the Bobcats. And you see Dixon coming up, but he didn't come up all the way. But then he came on a delayed blitz, got to the quarterback, sacked by Dominic Dixon.
Yeah, and helping on the play was Tim Durant, the sophomore defensive end. He gets in there and gets his name in the stat sheet with a half a sack as well. So, again, they went with a front four, so they're going forward, they're blitzing, they're controlling this game, 428, 427. Again, you control the line of scrimmage, you control the game, and ultimately you'll win the game, and that's what you've seen from the Shepherd team. 3rd down and a lot for the Bobcats.
Musselman in shotgun formation. He takes the snap, drops back the pass. Again, quick out pattern, and he's hammered by Tolson. These guys now are just laying the wood right now.
Yeah, and they've been doing that since the 2nd half. I mean, first half they did too. I mean, this has been anytime you hold a team to 6 points, you've been doing pretty good and putting on that show for the homecoming crowd.
At the beginning of this game, as I said, we're on the sideline of Wesleyan. We saw Wesleyan come out with a sledgehammer as part of their, I guess that's one of their mantras during the season. They came out with the sledgehammer, and since then, it seems like that sledgehammer now has went over onto the Rams side. Sledgehammers are a staple, and another thing that's a staple for us is the hit parade that we do each week. Here we are, the hit parade.
And again, the hit parade is just the quality of just hitting. You're going to see a lot of good hitting in this game, a lot of good solid tackling on the play, guys gang tackling on the play, bring everyone to the home to come up and make some sticks. This is what football is all about, clean hits that are about, getting the quarterback to the ground on that play. Just solid tackling on the play by the Shepherd Rams. You see majority of them are from Shepherd, man, because they've really dominated the tempo. You see the B.J. Raji dance. He cut it off a little bit. I thought he was going to go a little bit more on that.
I think he was tired. I really do. I think the B.J. Raji, after making that sack, I think he was like, all right, let me just get a little bit, and then I'm done.
Yeah, you gave a little bit the last one. Now, you remember, this is the college rank, so you can get flagged for that, too. Yeah, excessive celebration. So he has to make sure he turned it down. But the first time he did it earlier in the first half, he went for a little bit. Right. So maybe Coach Cater said, yo, you got to, shrink that down a little bit. We don't want to get a penalty.
Well, Cooper's day is done, and the backup quarterback, Trey Tinsman, is now in the game as he hands off an end around that time to number 83, which is Luke Baxter. So a lot of guys are now getting into this game that normally wouldn't get in, but now they're in the game to try to just close out the Bobcats.
And see, I don't some like to call this garbage time. I don't like to call it garbage time. I like to call it opportunities. And that's opportunities for other players on your team to gain experience. Many of the stars that you see on the Shepherd team now were the ones that were getting in back when Shepherd was pounding some teams in the past. So those guys have now stepped up and been the man. So, it's your time to be the man, but until you can be the man, you have to go through the process of learning from those that are the man. So this is not garbage time for the Shepherd Rams, and you want to get experience, valuable experience for your backup players. So just in case they need to be called upon, they're ready to roll.
And that was an incomplete pass that time. Tinsman to Marcus Smoot. Incomplete pass coverage. Some pressure on that play by Jonas Sellian. Came up, made the hit, forces him to throw it away. It's 4th down and 7. I don't call it guard. I call it dire. This is when I came in. This is when my time. This is my time. Yeah, this is my time here. There's the punt. High punt, and the sun is right in his face. And the ball is bobbled. And it's going to be the Rams football.
He banged into his own player.
Right into his own player. And again, we have some more skirmish there on the field. And there's a flag. Number 24, Husan Burton. Looks like he got into it a little bit with the, might have been with the kicker maybe. So the Rams are going to take over
We'll see if we can see it on the replay, what happened. I just know there was a lot of stuff going on, a lot of.
And there he is down at the bottom there, 69 he was with. There it is.
Are they offset? So you get an offset situation.
So it actually was the long snapper, Jordan DeMonico, and then also number 24, Hussam Burton, who got into it, offsetting penalties. If you saw the play before that, the flag, or actually the play was a fumble on the Bobcats as the ball actually hit a Bobcat defender who was almost shielding his punt return. So this is almost Smoot on the run there. Smoot gains a couple yards. Sellian and Vukula up there to make the stop. Do you burn this tape if you're Jonas Jackson?
I mean,
what do
no,
you do?
I don't think. I think every tape is something to learn from. And remember, in this first half ended, it was 10-6. So you were in the game. You were playing some good football, especially defensively. So no, you definitely don't burn the tape. But I think the one thing that you have to coach to is educating and working with your players on composure, keeping composed in the game. And I mean, you know, not every game is going to go fluently the way you want. So you have to keep it. You have to keep composed and stay under control. And there have been way too many penalties, and big ones too. You're talking about personal foul, face mask. I mean, you know, you've had a lot of penalties today for your team.
Now, both of these teams, along with about 7 other playing schools, are going to be leaving the WVIAC. So this is their final WVIAC game for both of these teams in regards to playing each other. So they're both going to be moving into the Mountain East Conference. So that's going to be a pretty big conference. As 8 other schools from the WVIAC are going over to that Mountain East Conference. Wow. Less than a minute left here at Rams Stadium. What a better way for Shepherd to close out the WVIAC than to continue their dominance, actually, in this conference and win their conference, and they're well on their way.
Yeah, they're well on their way. They've just had, you know, consistency. You know, you have consistency in the coaching staff. That breeds, you know, consistency for your program where potential players see that. They see that, you know, you've consistently put out a good product on the field. And, you know, you've seen when we've played against Shepherd back in my days of playing, this was grass. This wasn't a turf surface. It's now a turf surface. They've really worked hard to get the facilities where they want it to be, and this is a very good venue to play college football and continue your athletic career. If you're a high school senior looking for a school to go to in both of these schools, and on the other side you have the Bobcats of West Virginia Wesleyan, and they have the pedigree of the NFL coaching staff, a couple of coaches that have played some pro football, and they're able to bring in some recruits as well.
The final score here at Rams Stadium: Shepherd 37, West Virginia Wesleyan 6. We'll be right back with the post-game show.
Nestled in the beautiful hills of Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, Berkeley Springs Rehabilitation and Nursing and Automakers Personal Care Center provide rehabilitation, respite, long-term care, and Alzheimer's dementia care. The professionally trained staff and nurses focus on the individual needs of each resident, allowing their stay as home-like as possible. Our activity calendar is packed with group and individualized festivities throughout the day. You can rest assured knowing your loved one's care will meet your highest expectation in both of these licensed facilities. Call or visit us online today.
Is your favorite way to spend your free time on a golf course? Then treat yourself to West Virginia's friendliest course, Alpine Lake Resort Golf Course. Alpine Lake is a beautiful 18-hole course bordered by a 150-acre mountain lake. Our weekday greens fees are $40 with cart, and our weekend green fees are just $49. Enjoy our cool mountain air and take pleasure in our stay and play golf packages, starting at just $100. Meet friends at the resort, on the deck overlooking one of West Virginia's most beautiful vistas.
Unexpected opportunities.
Unexpected adrenaline.
unexpected community.
Shephepherd, unexpected.
Don't throw your money away. Come to Mayhew Chevrolet, Sunrise Summit in Romney, or on the web at mayhewcars.com.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Mayhew. At Mayhew Chevrolet, we are a family business where we remember you by your name and not a number. Come to Mayhew Chevrolet. We will take care of you.
It's our weekend. Should we spend it wandering in some home improvement warehouse? No! I say we go to Ace. Yeah! Get help when we walk in the door. Yeah! Because we will maintain our homes, but we will also maintain our weekend!
Find your helpful hardware man at Dawson's Ace Hardware, 99 Park Circle, Route 522 South, Berkeley Springs, West Virginia.
Your in-store wingman helps get your weekend back at Ace.
The Potomac Eagles Scenic Railroad in Romney, West Virginia, along the south branch of the Potomac River. Enchants everyone.
Eagle! This has made my day.
Luxury class and open window coach and open air cars to witness soaring eagles in their own backyard, the Trough. The Potomac Eagles Scenic Railroad has your excursion to adventure. See you at the station.
So you're looking to buy a new car, and you start to ask yourself the important questions. Who, what, where, why? You might be thinking, aren't all dealers the same? And that's where you'd be interested in knowing that Apple Valley Chevy Toyota has been your reputable hometown dealer for over 50 years. With great service, great selection, and great value, giving you the best car buying experience has always been our commitment to you. Plus, our certified automotive technicians get your vehicle serviced right the first time, every time. For all those reasons and more, see why Apple Valley Chevy Toyota is different from the rest.
Everyone needs a little me time. The professional staff at Personal Reflection Day Spa uses state-of-the-art equipment and advanced techniques designed to restore, rejuvenate, relax, and soothe the mind, body, and spirit. A 1-hour massage helps relieve stress, increase blood circulation, and promotes a balance of energy and vitality. In dermology, the LPG technique for cellulite smoothing and reduction creates a visible improvement in those hard-to-treat dimpled areas. Take your me time today. Personal Reflection Day Spa and Advanced Cellulite Center, where beauty starts from within. Join our Facebook page to receive daily specials.
Welcome back to Ram Stadium, where you see Shephepherd just dominate West Virginia Wesleyan. 37-6 was the final score here, and what we saw was a 7-6 game, and then Shephepherd run off 30 straight points to close this game out on homecoming weekend. And you see all the people available here, just on the field and just socializing. And what they saw were a bunch of highlights and a bunch of things that we saw in the game, but just some things that we were pointing out here.
I think what you saw was a defense dominated. First of all, it was especially the first half was a defensive struggle both ways, but then ultimately Shephepherd's defense really took control of this game. And then once that happened, the offense really came along and took control. And you see, Vukala gets in the end zone, and that was a really good play. But the highlight for the Bobcat team, not much happened after that, especially offensively for that team.
Vukala ended with 11 tackles on the play, but then they started to go at Keon Robinson. Keon with the pickoff there. That's where Boston got hurt, which is one of the players. And then this guy, Alan Cross, 19 carries, 121 yards, and 3 touchdowns. You just saw one of them. Here's the second one. He just goes right over the right side, and there's the third one, right up the middle. And like I said, this is the coming out party for him.
And more importantly, he averaged 6.2 yards a carry, which is even more remarkable for him. And then you saw Yoke on the other side. You know, he 13 carries for 46 yards, a 3.2 average. So the running game wasn't as effective on that side.
And this is what Shephepherd does to you on defense. 19 carries for 26 yards for West Virginia Wesleyan overall rushing, and that's what Shephepherd does on defense. They do that all day, and they really play well on defense.
Yeah, and if I was to give players to the game, I would highlight that Shephepherd defensive front. I mean, they really established the line of scrimmage, and I'm talking about all of them, from Chanel Jenkins, Howard Jones, Robert Hayes, Mike Franklin, then the backups, Daniel Yarborough, Xavier Tyler, Demetrius Dixon, and Tim Durant. I mean, that group of 8 really controlled this team and dominated the game.
As you say, domination was the name of the game. 37-6 all over. If I had to choose players of the game, I'm going to stick with Cross. I think he played very, very well today, as evidence of the 19 for 121. And A.J. Parrish, Keon Robinson, let's talk about him.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was picked on a lot.
Why? I don't know.
And he was a 2-time defending conference player of the week, and all he did was come in and got 5 tackles, got the interception, tackle for loss. We didn't see any of the blocks he blocked well on turnovers. He came up, made plays. For him, I would say on Wesleyan side, if I had to give one, Levon Hughes, 5 catches for 71 yards, and Vukala, even with the personal foul penalties,
he had a good game.
He still had a good game.
Solid game.
Good game for Wesleyan. Shephepherd's well on their way to another WVIAC crown, and probably the last that they the last WVIAC crown that they can win. But they're on their way, and if you look there at everybody still out here, it's homecoming weekend. I think these guys know they're on the verge of something special. Yeah,
they are, and you know, who knows? They may not seriously get tested until if they can get into the playoffs until you see that. I mean, you know, they've been a long way from that first game of the season when they lost, and you know, I think if they had an opportunity to have that game again, you would see a really energized Shephepherd team. That would be a contest I would love to see again, a replay of the first game of the season, because a Shippensburg showdown in the playoffs, I may have to travel to that if that would happen. But just good football. I mean, I love coming here and calling this game. I mean, you're talking about just great athletic talent that Coach Cater is able to bring.
Final score is 37-6. Shephepherd wins. For all of us here at Invictus Sports, for Jerome Presley, I'm Isaac Dyer. Thank you so much for joining us here at Shephepherd. Once again, Shephepherd wins 37-6. Thanks for having us.